Welcome to First and Goal, where everything is made up and the points don't matter. Get ready for the latest and hottest topics in the SML. Let's get started. Here's your host, Mad Bomber.
Welcome to this week's episode of First and Goal. On this week's episode, we've got Primetime 000, 16-time champ, probably not going to win another one. We've got Future making his second appearance on First and Goal. He's sitting at 7-1 right now. I'd say Future's back. We've got the new guy, Klinke, over there. Not really sure what to make of the Eagles. And then we've got the new ZZ. We've got Woods. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good, thanks for having us.
I'm good.
All right, so let's get started. We're gonna jump right into topic one, and we'll start with you, Woods. What are your thoughts on guys spamming a player when they have dev games? We've seen it with NYT and with Dump specifically lately. What do you think about that?
I don't necessarily have a problem with it per se. I guess with the exception of it being Madden, it's your opponent's obligation. Like, it was my obligation to stop it. Once I realized it was probably too late. So, but I don't overly have a problem with it, because sometimes, according to the opponent, 9 times out of 10, you probably won't get it if you're playing somebody good per se. Like last season, I had one against Dan. I wasn't getting it with Odell because he wasn't getting 4 touchdowns against Dan. Just stuff like that. But the easier going from star to superstar, those are kind of the easier bumps to get. So, yeah, superstar to superstar X Factor is the one that's really tough. I don't have a problem with it.
All right, Clink, what about you?
Yeah, I don't got a problem with it either. If people want to go and force the ball to a certain guy all game, feel free to. The good players in this league are going to sniff it out pretty quickly and try to take it away from you. And it's a pretty good recipe to lose just the game. So if you don't care about your record, you only care about dev, feel free to keep going for it. I do agree that it's a little tougher to get from superstar to superstar X Factor rather than star. You know, if you're going for 100 yards, not a big deal. And if it's a running back, half the league runs 30 times a game anyway, so you wouldn't even be able to tell or be able to stop it. So,
all right,
feel free.
All right, Prime, what about you?
Yeah, I think that just with the way Madden is, or with how our league is, we encourage people not to spam guys and to avoid that. But with the game is, you have to, in order to keep up with the competition. There's no gentleman's agreement where everyone says they're not going to do it. So you have to do it to keep up. Like in real life, if somebody does good, like a receiver does well, but he doesn't catch the ball a lot, that could still be recognized that he's getting separation, that he's got good hands. But in Madden, you don't see that. Like there's no ratings for just beating, a ratings increase for beating the coverage. So you have to spam the guy to do it. I'm willing to lose a game maybe in the regular season if it means to further my development. I mean, I'm one of those idiots who will literally risk a loss for the long-term success. So it sucks, but since that's the way Madden is, I think it has to be done.
All right, and Future, what are your thoughts on it?
It's funny when Prime said risking short-term for long-term success. The problem is when you see people sacrificing short-term for the long-term future and it's not even successful. Sometimes you may have some players who may have a lot of superstar or star development players, and they're still just not great on the sticks. So they're willing to lose games and develop players, but I think it's more important to actually develop your personal game, because if you're willing to try to force the ball to one player just to get a development, it might sacrifice your overall game as a player on Madden. So I think it's important to have a balance of those two, because you need players that can make plays on this respective Madden, but you also have to have the stick skills to match it. So spamming, it's okay in certain situations, but I think it's more important to develop your skills as an individual player.
Yeah, I'd agree. And go ahead.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, some of these abilities, you may throw a game spamming one of your guys, and then you end up like me with PJ Wiley, who's got Energizer and Second Wind as his 2 abilities, and that does me absolutely no good. And had I spammed him, I could have lost the game because of it.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna make that same point. Sometimes it's not even worth it getting an ability that Madden will give you a wide receiver ability on a running back
Yep.
or vice versa. So
Yeah, abilities are definitely
it
nerfed
is
this
what it
year,
is.
which yeah, with the nerfed abilities, yeah, the difference is far less than it was last Madden. We've seen meets, and I mentioned it a few times, but with Escape Artist, with Joystick, and with Moss, literally almost make the Super Bowl 4 seasons in a row, and you just don't have that this cycle, which I think is a positive.
Yeah.
Right. Then you
Yeah,
start losing games too, and then your morale with the players start to go down, and then
yes,
they stop
absolutely.
making plays and different things
Yep.
like that naturally. So it's a
Yeah.
balance you have to approach this with.
Yeah, it would suck to hurt your team for an ability that you can't even use. So that's going to take us to topic two. Topic two, and we just saw Dookie play QP, so maybe this one we don't even have to discuss much. But topic two, I was going to say, with 2 straight losses, is the book out on Dookie? And we'll start with you, Prime.
Yeah, Dookie, I don't mean to clip your wings here, but um, here, here's the deal. Um, the book is out, right? There's a book. It's out there. Now, is it valid? That's the question. That's what everyone wants to know. And here's how I view it. There's guys who, if I look at their game, I could tell they're going to last the test of time. Dan, no matter what Madden, he's going to be a top 10 player, top 5 player. He mixes it up. He throws the ball. He runs the ball. He does it all. Future's another one. He's not doing YouTube stuff. He throws the ball. He runs the ball. He might go, he might have a spell where he's playing bad, but he'll usually find a way to win at some point. Bomber's another one. Myself, there's a few guys throughout the league that you could say. Now Dookie's got a very niche style where it's this deep attack offense, and I haven't seen them make too many adjustments. And when somebody doesn't adjust, I tend to believe that they can get figured out and they won't win the big one. Now, that said, that's not saying that he's not going to win 12 to 13 games a year. I just don't see him being a multi-time champion. And if you're Dookie, that's what you want to be. And I don't see that happening. So I'll say, yes, the book is out. He's not going to win multi Super Bowls. He's not going to be a dynasty because he's not going to be great at adjusting.
All right, Future, what do you think?
I think to Prime's point, there may be a book, but everybody don't know how to run the right plays in that book to be successful. It goes back to, like I said earlier, with your own respect of stick skills. Like, one thing with Dookie, I've noticed he's really great and amazing with that hit stick. And that is a game changer. You can be controlling the flow of the game, running the ball well, making passes to move the sticks, and then he catch you one good time on that hit stick, and it can change the whole game. So, and I think people know that it's coming, but it just happens so fast in the course of the game, and it can turn the tide. It's hard to overcome that. And then if you don't have the right type of personnel on defense, it could be difficult to stop those long pass plays that he has. So he has the right personnel to match what he's trying to do right now. I just think it'll take the right team with the right personnel to be able to slow him down. The book is out there, but I don't know if everybody knows how to actually stop it. So then he's run across 2 great opponents. He played you, Bomber, and then I think the first game against the new Panthers owner,
Yep.
he might have just got caught slipping because he's been winning in that division. I know they have an upcoming rematch, so it'll be really good to see what that game looks like to tell what the future is going to look like with Dookie.
Yeah, because I think the Panthers owner, he won the Primer Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, or he was in
Yeah,
the
I think
he
he
was
has
in
the
the Primer.
Steelers.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm,
so
he will.
he could definitely, he's going to be good at least. Clink, what do you think? You played Dookie in the Primer, right? Or you
Played
were in the Primer same
Dookie
time?
once. Yeah, I played him once in Primer. He's a good player. I think the book's definitely out on him, though. I think he's going to continue to beat the mediocre to bad players in this league. I think the top tier players, Prime, Bomber, Dan, you guys, I think you guys will knock him out every time you play him because, not to say he's a one-trick pony, but you guys can take away the run. And once you take away the run and you can't get those deep passes, I haven't seen him been able to dink and dunk his way down the field. And maybe it's just because he hasn't had to yet and he's not adjusting to do that. But he wants those deep shots. He wants those 70-yard runs. He wants those outside stretches. He wants those gimme run plays that everybody knows Madden favors. He's got the wide receivers to just huck it up there with Mike Evans. Chris Godwin can burn people. So, he's kind of got that, I don't want to call it cheesy, but it's kind of cheesy offense of that's just those guys are just good players. And he kind of got blessed with it. Michael Thomas in the offseason there, that just makes it even better.
I'll tell you what, you talk about some of the cheesy runs or whatever. I was all ready for the Wildcat, and he didn't run it one damn time. I was so disappointed. I'd been practicing all day to stop the Wildcat, and he didn't come out a single time and run it. Woods, what do you think? Book out on Dookie?
No worry, you'll see it to me.
Yep. There he is.
I believe so. I mean, it's just like any other player in the league. You play them enough or they're around enough, you'll start to get in on their tendencies and what they like to do, what they don't like to do, and what you can do to pretty much stop them or stop what they like. Now, granted, whether it translates to success is a different story. Like Future said, I mean, some people don't have the actual stick skills to stop it, even if they know it's coming. Case in point, some people can run the ball very well. Like Matt for the Patriots.
Yep.
We know Matt likes to run the ball. It's still hard to stop. If he stuck to it this year, I believe he'd be a better player, or a better record, I should say. I shouldn't say better player, but like the book is out on him. Hey, run the ball. But this year he just decides Drew Lock is his focus, which translates to, hey, not too successful when you know what your bread and butter is. Dookie's a big play guy, big hit stick guy that, hey, hit stick, you can be winning 21-3, and a hit stick could change the course of the game. Because I've said it many times. I said it at the Prime. Momentum in Madden is real. If you can't come back from that hit stick or get an instant turnover on a drive where he got the hit stick on, then the game could just start spiraling really quick. But I do think, to answer the question, yeah, it's out. It just has to translate to people being more successful than him, and when it happens, or if it happens, how he handles it going forward.
I want to touch on another thing with Dookie in the book being out is he talked about being not interested or less interested. And Dookie needs to now see or find out where he wants to go in his heart of hearts, meaning you can't say that anybody can win a Lombardi, but it's a lot easier to win one than it is to have sustained success or play at a sustained championship level to win 3, 4, 5. Probably get kicked at 5 because I don't want anybody to threaten my 16. But the thing is if he's already talking about losing interest and he's only got one, I don't know if he's going to be able to sustain the drive it takes to be that next big thing in the SML if he's already only got one and he's satisfied and content with just one. I'm not content with 16, so he better not be content with one.
Yeah, I'll keep my thoughts on whether or not he's really uninterested to myself, but yeah, you definitely have to want to win more than that. But we'll see.
Just say it, Bomber. That was just a cop out because he lost to you.
I absolutely think that. Yep. You don't come on Paulie's show and talk about guaranteeing that you're going to win by 30, and I need to be ready, and he's going to show me his defense that's going to lock me down. I mean, that's weird that over a week you just lost all interest, but that's
when
just
you win tomorrow, Bomber.
What's that?
Wasn't really interested in the game.
Yeah,
just keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's all it was.
But if you lose 2 in a row, it will make you disinterested a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you're real about it, you'll bounce back and say, I ain't going to take no more L's. So let's see what he going to do coming up.
Yeah, he put on a pretty good performance against QP. And, I mean, Redskins or Washington, they're not a bad team. So we'll see. He's still got Prime on his schedule. He's still got Faz again. And, we talk about he had a really good regular season record, and he won the Lombardi. But against me, Faz, and Paulie now, he's 0-4. So he's not beating a lot of the top teams. He's beaten the NFC teams, but even Dan, that should have. I'm not gonna say Dan should have won, but
if Dan didn't have a convulsion, with 30 seconds left and shake his hands, that Super Bowl is going to Denver. It's that easy.
I I think you keep calling the wrong person brittle hands, Prime. I think that's what happened to Dan in there too.
I don't know if he had some I don't know if he had some chicken grease on his fingers and it slipped or what happened, but man, just not opportune timing there.
That made me sick, and I wasn't even playing the game. I was like, "Oh my god!"
I think I was more
Wow.
upset for Dan than he was listening to him after the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bomber, were you saying that the AFC is the more superior conference?
I would say the
You were giving
AFC
out them
is
records.
definitely the more superior conference. I think the NFC's deeper. If you look 1 to 7, maybe they're deeper. But I think the NFC's the better conference. I think by the end of it, we're going to have more Simbardis in the AFC than the NFC will have. And with your team coming around now that you've got Ginn at the running back position, Ruggs is coming around. Your defense has moved up to a top half. I mean, that's only making the AFC stronger. And
Is Ginn a scat back?
Nah. He actually
Okay.
he
I wouldn't even.
no, he's actually more all
I
around
wasn't
back.
Yeah.
gonna look. I wasn't gonna look for a change of pace back until this upcoming draft. My God, that guy's he's never gets tackled and he's always running. So I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I picked the wrong draft to probably need a
I
running
tried
back. But whatever.
I tried as hard as I could. I think I talked to all 15 teams ahead of me or in the top 15, and nobody wanted to move back, including Future. I tried to trade with him too.
Yeah.
Ginn,
Yeah. He tried.
where did Ginn go? What number did he go?
It was
maybe like
Was it
14,
10?
Yeah.
but he was the number 1 overall player.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Oh well, I'm
NYT
surprised
took
they got a
Bayless.
quarterback at 19. So
NYT took Bayless,
It's
then
fine.
Future took Ginn, and then Dump took Edens, and there was my top 3 off the board before I even got the pick.
Yeah. And the only reason I took him, honestly, I know this is a lot of topic, but is because when you playing Dan, it actually would lead into the next topic a little bit. But playing Dan helped me realize that Jacobs is just not the answer. He doesn't have the speed. The only time I would give Dan any kind of problem is when I would play with Richard. But Dan, his defense is so fast, he just swallows up Jacobs. And so I was like, nah, I need to change it up over there. Had 2 or 3 years with that. Like, I put Jacobs in specialized situations.
Yeah.
So that's why I drafted Ginn.
And you can notice the difference. Like, I did the same thing, got a fast running back, and it made all the difference in my offense. So speaking of that, let's move to topic 3, and we'll start with you, Future. What's more important to have, top offense or top defense?
I'm going to go with defense. Initially these first, I guess, 2 or 3 seasons, I was really heavy on the offense. I had top 10 offense. Ruggs was out here setting records and different things like that. But I quickly realized, for me personally, knowing my game, you got to have a top tier defense. And then when you really look at the stats of the top players in this league, when you look at Prime, you look at Dan, you look at Vikings, you look at Dookie, look at you, Bomber. Every single player that I just mentioned has a top 10 defense. Because in Madden, you can manufacture offense if you got a good scheme and ball control or running the ball or passing like you want to, including dump. But what you have to always have is a defense that you can rely on to get stops in the game. Because to win games, you only need really about 1 or 2 stops to win a good game. And those players that I've seen have consistent success have top tier defenses with players on the defensive side that can make plays. And I quickly realized that I didn't have any. Like, you look at my defense up until this year, I didn't have really any superstar. I've never had an X factor on that side of the ball, and that has affected my consistency in the league. So, like when I guess season 4 now, I realized, last year I got to change it up and spend more time trying to work on this defense. And I think that has helped my team turn the season around like we've had this year. So I'm gonna go with defense as being the more superior side of the ball.
Woods, what about you?
Yes, defense. I've built the young guys on my team. I traded for Landry. As we all know, I just traded for J.J. Watt. So defense to me is very important, and that's just basically what I want to do at Cleveland anyway. They're young enough, fast enough to where they should do what I want them to do, because Lord knows the way I play sometimes and I can get the ball and I give it right back to them and have them on the field. But yeah, with defense, I need that because like I've said in the past, I'm not that good of a player, but uh, ball control, like Future said, and having that type of defense that can swarm to the ball or even make stops on a 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. That I mean that helps because in my eyes, with Madden, speed kills. But also, if you have a good defense and those guys have pretty good play recognition, then it'd be hard for anybody to do anything on it. Especially if you're at least a decent user, then yeah, you defense is the way to go.
All right, Clink, what do you think?
I really want to be different and say offense, but I wouldn't be believing it. The defense is the most important thing. Madden just gives way too many of these cheap, ridiculous catches to the offense half the time, and there's no real way to stop it. The run's so overpowered in this game. You need a defense to be able to stop it. If you have a bunch of trash cans out there, a bunch of 65, 75, even overall defensive line linebackers, you're not a great user, you're never going to stop the run. I mean, I can't stop the run, and I have Fletcher Cox, and that's about it in the front seven. And that kills me. So, if you got to get that defense built up, the offense, there's always going to be something open in Madden. If you run the right routes, the right route tree, I mean, you're always going to find something open. And worst case scenario, you just hand the ball off 25 times and you can win that way. But yeah, I mean, I really want to be different, but no, it's defense.
All right, Prime, we'll go to you as somebody that all your big moves really have been offense. What do you think about offense versus defense?
Yeah, actually, I'm more afraid of a great offense than I am a great defense, especially this cycle. So I think it's almost more important. Just defense isn't really a thing anymore. This cycle, like they took away change of direction, or they added change of direction. So the great user ability is gone. That skill gap is gone. Um, Defenses are just kind of weak. I mean, you can make them all right, but it's nowhere near what it was last cycle or even the cycle before that. For example, if I'm going to play somebody in a Super Bowl, a great defense does not scare me. It just does not. Like I played Oshie in these Super Bowls and his vaunted user when it was actually a thing to have a good user. And I would much rather play somebody like that against somebody who has a great offense. So I think if you want to win a lot of games and scare people, you want to have a great offense. Governor's got a great offense. Dan's got a good offense. Paulie, he's got an all right offense. He's got a solid defense, all right offense. Paulie doesn't scare me that much, and he's a good player, but because his offense kind of comes in waves, he doesn't scare you like somebody like Faz might. And what does Faz do? His defense is all right, but his offense is scary. So I think the offense will put some fear into some people, and I think that Dookie's another example. His offense is great. He literally, who does he have on his defense but 2 or 3 players, and his offense is stacked. And Dookie is constant talk of the SML. He's the SML champion, and he's just built his defense on nobody and just flicking a stick and hoping there's a fumble, and it works for him.
That's a fair point.
To that point, Prime, like a lot of times, like with Dan, a lot of people look at Dan and the greatest show and the mile high he has now. But to me, it's his defense that what sets him apart. Like he has both of those safeties, and then he has speed with Chubb and Von Miller over there, and he has another linebacker. It was Levante David at one point, but he just has speed all over the field. And his defense is elite, in my opinion, which he gets a lot of turnovers and like if you hear him in chat now, he made reference to the defense hadn't been playing well lately, and I think that's what sets him apart more so than anything. The offense is going to be dangerous, and sometimes you can go back and forth with him, but if he's able to get those stops defensively, it's really ridiculous. And just speaking about defense, I think it's really important to just have a good front seven more than it is about that back end. If you can't get pressure on people in Madden, I think you're in big trouble, big trouble, because the quarterbacks can pick you apart. So that's why another reason why I say defense.
Yeah, I think that quick pressure, and you were obviously felt it last cycle when you played Sunday in the playoffs. It may be a little more nerfed this year than it was last year when Sunday would get with the quick block
Yes.
shedding and whatnot. Dan's defense is, I would say, it's elite, and it's obviously helped him win a lot of games. I think that he puts a lot of pressure on people with his offense, and it's a beautiful thing he's got going on there. It's just they complement each other so well. The thing about Dan, the thing that Dan does so well is he puts up a lot of points. He's got 5 superstar receivers and a tight end and a great running back and a good quarterback. And I think people try getting in these shootouts with him, but really, if you could just run the ball up the middle and take checkdowns, he's gonna make a mistake. And that's the recipe to beating Dan is and it sounds so stupid, but it's just like if you're playing Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, just run the ball, work your way down the field, and he'll make mistakes. And I beat him for 3 quarters by 30 points until I wanted to put up 60 on him, and then I made a few mistakes. but yeah, I'd much rather have a top offense, and hopefully I can make somebody make some mistakes because of it. But I could see why having a great defense is because it's rare. It's a rarity to have a great defense. So that's about
Prime, you should have been on the sideline in Kansas City yesterday with a check down and running the ball.
Dude, they didn't. That was foreign concept to them in Kansas City.
Exactly.
All right, so we'll go to our fourth down topic, and we'll start with you, Prime. Fourth down topic. Who makes an SML comeback first? So we already saw Raider fan came back, regardless what your thoughts are on that. But Raider fan's back. And so who's next? Is it going to be QB, Field, Royce, or are we going to have to wait till Spooky? And when one of them comes back, who's gone? We'll start with you, Prime.
Oh, Lord. So I think that Fields right now kind of expressing the itch. And whenever you get back into playing Madden again and you're commenting on Twitter, it only drives the hype up more. So I would say Fields probably soonest, maybe Spooky by April, and then Chris maybe somewhere in between that. I haven't had much talks with QB. I know he's got a lot going on, so maybe next Madden for him. I think that as for which team they might replace, there's one guy who's retiring at the end of this season. I'm not going to say who, but there is a guy in the AFC who's going to retire at the end of this season. So I would say that Field will likely join the AFC. We also have some primer guys who are good, who are in the running as well, but just a lot can happen in a season. So I don't want to say for sure.
Okay. We'll go with Klink next. What do you think? I know you don't really know many of those guys, and maybe that doesn't really matter. It's more the second half of that question. But who do you think is coming back, and where do you think they'll go?
Yeah, it would be difficult for me to say who would come back. I think Chris is the only one I overlapped with for maybe about 20 minutes. So
well, you have his team, so
yeah, exactly. So I can't really say who would come back first. I mean, I guess I'll agree with Prime and say Field just because he's been talking with the guys. Who they'll replace, I mean, outside of guys retiring, I would say the first one on the chopping block would probably be Dookie. And I hate to be, running on that train like everybody else, but
bonus 5 points.
he seems to be the talk of the town a lot of the time. He gets pushed around a little bit. He pushes back a lot, and it starts a lot of trouble. I know I've instigated with him a little bit in the chat, just to grind his gears a little bit, push him along, push him down that trail, see what he does. But I know he's rubbed some people the wrong way that are important. So if I'm gonna say anybody, it would have to be Dookie.
All right, Woods, what do you think?
I'm going out on a limb here, and I'm gonna be controversial.
Okay.
Conk's coming back.
Okay.
If you don't believe me, check the DM. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Nah,
He's like Michael Jordan. He bought out the paper and he said, "I'm back."
the way, honestly, I've been seeing Field stream a lot. He's starting to post on Twitter again. I've actually caught a stream maybe about 3 times, so I think he's getting that itch, and he has the talent to come in and be instantly competitive too. So I look forward to it. As far as who he would replace, that could be 2 or 3 guys. You never know. One guy in the NFC that everybody's chirping about. He's the greatest of all time. You know,
Colt.
the dawn of him. Well, yes, he does. Colt does say that too. He's the greatest. But you hate to see guys go for whatever reason, any reason at all. But
Most of them.
whoever he replaced, then they'll be missed for whatever reason. And if it is Fields, then we welcome it. But I'd say right now, looking at Fields' Twitter and looking at him stream, I'd say it's about a 75% chance that Fields the one coming back.
Yeah, it definitely seems like if you're getting the itch to play Madden, Superstar KO ain't it.
Yeah, that's definitely not it.
Yeah, especially when it doesn't work half the time anyway. Future, what do you think? I think you're muted.
You're muted. That's -5 points.
Yeah, I would definitely say Field. Field, a great addition, long-term player in the league. Always very professional. I enjoy playing him. I would say if Dookie want to hold on to the league, he better not go out here and win 2 in a row. You know, you start winning too many championships, get sniped, get clipped real quick.
That's instant boot right there.
But I'm gonna say maybe Colt 45. You know, because some of his transactions as an owner have been questionable. You know, maybe he might have burnt out himself. You know, taking them L's when he was in Arizona last year when I was giving to him with the Seahawks. And then now he over there taking it from Dookie and, you know, taking it from Lawyer. And now my new Panthers guy, and Royce, is giving it to him too. So maybe he ran his course. So it might be time.
From all angles.
Well, I mean, according to him, he's just tanking. So that's not,
you know,
it's all.
But if he tanking just to get draft picks, just to give away his franchise players, it don't like he on a hamster wheel. It ain't really making too much sense. So
there's a better way to do that, to make that transition than doing that.
Exactly.
Can I throw someone else's name in the replacement hat? Is Tiny Titan, aka Dookie's twin. Twin. You know, Tiny's been a little. I mean, let's say he's been a little sketchy lately. So, you know, we got to throw that name in the hat as well. And he's speaking of taking it from all angles. That old country boy's been taking it hard for a long time. So
there you go.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, with that, our final score is going to be Klinke 28, Woods 30, Future 42, and Prime 38. You didn't win. Future, you're the winner tonight. These 30 seconds are all yours.
I just want to say I appreciate getting back on First and Goal. Again, it's the greatest league in Madden right now. But I just think we got to have more balance in the league with people stepping it up. Stop spamming, dump. Man, you too great of a player to be spamming this one running back. Although you got a great chance to have the top Russian running back in the league 2 years in a row, 2 separate players. That's a great feat. But I just always remember you as being a great offensive passer. So get back to some balance and you will start owning the Cardinals over there. So I appreciate the opportunity to get on tonight. Let's get it in, SML.
All right. So that's been First and Goal for this week. Once again, Prime loses. And I'm sure that'll make a lot of people happy. But until next week, this has been First and Goal.
Man.
Thanks for listening to First and Goal. Be sure to check out Mad Bomber TV on Twitch and YouTube for the latest from the SML. And we'll see you next time on First and Goal.